Hello, everyone. Hope that my background noise isn't too loud. And I see that I have 4 people watching, so hit the like if you don't mind. Thank you for being here. Hey, Mom, first. Let me know if the background noise is too loud, and I will let them know that they need to lower the TV down because it's way too loud. Let me see. Hey, Scarred, how are you? Mom, first. Scarred, good to see you guys. Let's see if I can get my Nightbot to work. Okay. Yeah, just give me 1 minute. I'm gonna have them lower it just a little bit. Hey Michael, good to see you. How are you? BRB, hey Crochet. Go ahead and do for the creators in here the link drop like I'm doing so I can get your channel dropped. And I'll be right back. Like not even 10 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. That should be a little bit better. So it's good to have new faces in here. Good to see you all. Crochet, it is good to see you. It's been a minute since I've been live, so I apologize, but I am here. We made it through the week. Last week it was tough, and this week, but everything is, we take it day by day, and we've got this. So I'm going to give it a few minutes for people to get in here. Scar, did you type the word link drop? Yeah, it's fine. Thank you. And if not, one of the mods can drop Scar's channel link if you don't mind. But yeah, let me put the banner, and that kind of helps sometimes. Oh, there you go. You forgot to study the Nightbots. It's okay, Leopard. They're not. I don't have a lot of commands and such. Most of my stuff I started just putting on timers. Oh, Crochet, tell them I said hello and good night. I always forget that you guys are. I don't forget that y'all are across the pond, but the time zones is kind of hard to keep up with after a little bit. But yeah, sweet dreams to Mr. Hat. So I'm sure by now, because I am late bringing this to YouTube and talking about it, because this news came out, I want to say last week, about the stuff with the Gabby potato cakes. And I had wanted to do a live on it, but I had so much going on, so I decided to go ahead and do it today. Yeah, I'm doing okay, Michael. Thank you. So, as all of you probably have already heard, basically the depositions that they did, I think they said it was back in October because I was watching an article on it earlier, a video. They did depositions back in October, Roberta and Christopher, and it came out that the Laundry family admits to, like what they knew about Gabby's disappearance. Okay, so here's this. Let me put it on full screen. I hate all these stupid ads. I wish you could just get rid of all of them. And when I'm not on my MacBook, I don't know how to zoom in on Windows. So yeah. Hey JR Nana. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, definitely truth for Kylie. Always thinking about Kylie. Hey Michael McAllister, how are you? What's for dinner tonight? Burrito bowls. My voice cracked there. Um, Burrito bowls, kind of like Chipotle. Chipotle at home. Hey, Voodoo. Good to see you. How are you? It's good to see you all here. I appreciate it. So yeah, so Gabby's story pretty much, I mean, a lot of people in here I know that I've talked to, Gabby's story is, one of the first stories that brought them into true crime or missing persons. And I will personally say that I will forever follow her story. I commend her family for being as strong as they are and for pushing for people to be held accountable in her case, because we all know the ending, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding that. So I'm not going to go there with the Brian Laundrie stuff, because I am one of the ones who think what the unpopular opinion is. But regardless, it's so tragic, and it's just horrifying to know everything that we know. Now that we're finding out all this stuff about the parents, that, like, how is this not criminal? How is this not something that, I mean, this is just a civil suit, sadly. And that's what frustrates me, because I think that they should be held accountable for way more, but unfortunately that's not how the system works. So yes, I agree. Her parents have been amazing. They are doing amazing things. I'm going to go over the Gabby Petito Act that was filed in Florida. It would be amazing if that could go nationwide. Yeah, they're doing amazing stuff. I have the 4-year-old, but she's playing with Auntie Jean, so I'm bored and have free time. Oh, well, it's good to see you here, Voodoo. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and start reading this one. So the Laundrie family admits to what they knew about Gabby Petito's disappearance. Court documents obtained by WWSB. The court documents are on this article, and I'll go over the actual documents so you guys know that it is factual information. They revealed the parents of Brian Laundrie have admitted what their son told them about Gabby Petito in the immediate aftermath of her disappearance. This document is in connection with an ongoing civil lawsuit against the Laundries. Petito's family is suing Chris and Roberta for emotional distress in relation to her death during a 2021 road trip with her fiancé, Brian Laundrie. Her remains were found at a national forest in Wyoming, and her death was ruled a homicide. And that's the part that frustrates me, is because it's like, it was a homicide. These people knew what was going on, yet it's just they're not being held accountable, in my opinion, for the criminal stuff, that their part in it criminalized. In an amended complaint filed on November 30th, the Laundrie family admitted. Okay, so the complaint was filed on November 30th. The Laundrie family admitted they received a call from Brian Laundrie in the immediate aftermath of Petito's disappearance. The court document states that Brian Laundrie told his parents on August 27th, in what is described as a frantic phone call, that Gabby was gone and he needed a lawyer. On August 29th, the Laundries contacted Stephen Berlino, the former family attorney, during the time in which Petito was missing. Oh, so okay, so this is the 27th? Yeah, so okay. For some reason I was thinking the 29th was when she passed, but yeah, August 27th has been the date that even her parents, I want to say on Twitter, because they're very active on Twitter, posted something about, they're pretty sure August 27th is the date of, sadly, Gabby's passing. Seriously, right? All the money spent by law enforcement just for one. I hope they have to pay. Yeah, I hope the Laundries have to pay too. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's just insane, because I go back to when we were doing it live, real time, trying to figure out a timeline as the timeline is unfolding. And like, pretty much now I can look back at my notes, and I had the date of confirmation, not confirmation, but like the date I assumed of her passing was between like August 26th to 29th, something like that. And then to learn everything we've learned now, to narrow it down, it's so sad. It breaks my heart. The documents also allege that Brian Laundrie was using Petito's phone and pretending to be her in text messages to her family. Bertolino, in turn, contacted lawyers in Wyoming, where Gabby's body was eventually found. Bertolino filed a motion to settle his part in the lawsuit in September of this year. Read the full court documents below. Okay, let me see. So this is Joe and Nicole versus the Laundries. This is an action for damages that exceed $30,000, exclusive of prejudgment interest, costs, and attorney fees. Stephen Bertolino was acting as the agent for Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie when they resided in Florida. Okay, so it goes like a little background of when they left. July 2nd is when they left for the road trip. No, I'm sorry, that's when they were married. I am all over the place. I'm sorry, y'all. Engaged to marry on or about July 2nd. And then on July 2nd of 2021, so a year later, is when they left from New York in her van for their trip. Okay. So I'm going to get to the point. So the last communication that Nicole had with Gabrielle Petito was on August 27th of 2021. It is believed that on August 27th, Brian Laundrie murdered Gabrielle Petito. The cause of her death was blunt force injuries to the head and neck with manual strangulation. And trigger warning in chat. Let me put that real quick. Hey, Nicole, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Sorry. Gabby Petito was 22 years of age at the time of her death. After Brian Laundrie murdered Gabrielle Petito, Brian Laundrie sent text messages back and forth between his cell phone and Gabrielle Petito's cell phone in an effort to hide the fact that she was deceased. On August 27th of 2021, it is believed that Brian Laundrie sent a text to Nicole Schmidt in which he referred to Gabrielle Petito's grandfather, Stan, by name. Gabrielle Petito never called her grandfather by his name. So that pretty much confirms that on that date, it definitely was not from Gabby. On August 29th of 2021, Brian Laundrie advised his parents, Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie, in a frantic telephone call that Gabby was, quote, gone, end quote, and he needed a lawyer. So can you imagine he called home and told his parents that Gabby was gone? Like, he says the words, they're gone. You can't tell me that these parents didn't have questions. What kind of parents are not going to say or ask, what do you mean gone? Where is she? What's going on? Like, you're across the country. You're both very young. And you're in her vehicle and you're calling me, telling me that she's gone and you need a lawyer, and they didn't have questions. Like, I'm sorry, but I would have figured out a way to fly myself across the country, get to my son, and figure this out. And if and when I had found out that he had done what he had done, my child would be holding himself accountable. So the fact that these parents just hid everything, we have the burn after reading letter that has a whole lot in there. You have his confession, quote unquote, notebook. That is his sick and twisted narrative of how things happen, basically blaming it on her, saying it was a mercy killing. Like, all of those things disgust me. And then he comes home without her and they go camping. They knew she was gone. According to this court document, it says on August 27th, on the 29th, he advised his parents that Gabby was gone and he needed a lawyer. I don't mean to get so quiet. This case just really still hurts my heart. It's the same as Kylie's case will always be for me. It's just sad. But leopard print, yeah. So I didn't see. I just went sub to you, and I'm gonna put a sorry. My keyboard is extremely loud. It's my son's. So I apologize. But yeah, I just subbed also leopard print. But yeah, so I don't know. When I read this last week, I was just like, I mean, we all kind of pretty much assumed that he did call his parents. That we all assumed that his parents knew more than what we were finding out. We knew that. But it's just to know that in a deposition that they actually admitted that. Why? I'm not understanding how the laws of our country work. Like, just because you're finding out now, how is that an excuse for the parents not to still be held accountable with something criminal? I mean, they aided and abetted him. They knew, they had knowledge that Gabby was gone as of August 29th. He returned home to Florida September 1st without her. She was reported missing September 11th by her parents. He disappears September 17th, or no, I'm sorry, 13th or 14th in the Carlton Reserve. September 17th, he was reported missing. And then you have her found on September 19th. And in between all that time before she was found, the parents were dead silent. They didn't talk. They didn't answer texts. They didn't answer calls. They didn't answer people banging on their doors. They had nothing to say. But they knew the entire time. What do you mean ASMR? Is something making noise? How in the ever? That's what I want to know. And that's what makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. Yeah, for sure. And I can when I revisit it and I talk about this case, it all just comes back and it just makes me so mad. Michael, my vacation was great. I had a great time. I miss it already. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you pretty much have these parents that enabled their son. They didn't make him hold himself accountable. I don't like passing judgment on people, but how do you do that? You know, I have one son who had a girlfriend that was out of state, and I just couldn't imagine him coming home in her vehicle and not calling police and making him at least, tell your side of the story, tell what happened, get it over with. And then now you're finding out that on the 29th they knew. It's sickening. Okay, so on August 29th, Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie spoke with Bertolino. So the same day that Brian called them and said Gabby's gone, they turned around and they called Bertolino, advising him that Gabby Petito was gone, that Brian Laundrie needed a lawyer, and sent him a retainer on September 2nd. So Bertolino got the retainer the day after Brian Laundrie returned back to Florida. On September 2nd, on behalf of Brian Laundrie, Stephen Bertolino entered into a fee agreement with Fleener Peterson LLC, a criminal defense law firm located in Laramie, Wyoming, for purposes for representing Brian Laundrie. Prior to the time the Fleener Peterson LLC was retained, Stephen Bertolino contacted other attorneys in Wyoming to represent Brian Laundrie, including a public defender's office in the same county where Gabrielle Petito's body was ultimately discovered. So not only do you have Brian Laundrie calling home and confessing that Gabby's gone, I need a lawyer. So then you have Stephen Bertolino, who turns around and contacts all of these other people in Wyoming to represent Brian while he was out of state. Hey, Wendy, good to see you. Sorry to interrupt your show and comment. I wish you all the best. I'm thinking can't stay. Oh, thank you for stopping by, Wendy. It's good to see you. They knew he'd done it before he came home. Go camping with him, then let him drive. Right. And then go and take his only mode of transportation away from him. I don't know. A lot of it ain't making sense. A lot of it does not make sense. Hey, zombie girl. Good to see you. If your son is in that kind of state of mind, you're going to allow him to leave and not follow him at least. I understand that he's an adult, but why would you not follow him? I can't see my husband not following my son, knowing what he knows happened. Why would you let him go off alone? And then you go and take the one vehicle that he has. Oh, let's just take it home. He's not going to need this. Why would you do that? Like, so much of her case does not make any sense. Okay, so on August 30th, Brian Laundries sent a text message from Gabby's phone to Nicole stating that there was no service in Yosemite Park in an effort to deceive Nicole into believing that Gabby was still alive. How sick is that? Like, you literally did what you did, and then you have the nerve to continue using her phone, her money, her vehicle, contacting her parents, and not you or your parents have the nerve to answer a phone call, open your door, freaking say the truth of what happened. That is sickening to me. And then get away with it, pretty much. That's what gets on my nerves. Why did they wait so long to report him missing? Oh, because remember Leopard Print, they were like, well, he said he was going to go hiking, blah, blah, blah. It took them forever. There was like discrepancies in the day that he apparently left hiking. It changed. I have this all written down somewhere. It was like September 14th, and then they were like, oh, no, wait, he actually left the house September 13th. But then they didn't report him missing until the 17th. And keep in mind, in between that time, Northport police were saying, oh, yeah, we've had eyes on him. We're watching him. But yet, he got away. And then when the Mustang comes back, they thought that was Brian Laundrie. I'm sorry, but Brian Laundrie and his mom don't look nothing alike. Like, I'm not the only one that thinks these things. Then go into the preserve and find his back straight away. Yeah, they knew what spot he was at. And that is why it's just so hard for me to believe that he was actually the one they found. That was actually, like, I'm sorry. You know how many bones that could have been found in the reserve? Many. Because they found other missing persons during the search for him, if I'm not mistaken. And, like, you have a left temple, SHOOTING. When you're right-handed, you know, when they said according to the anthropology report and all that, saying that, I don't know. I just have a lot of issues. There's a lot of things that don't make any sense. I'm glad you made it alive too, zombie girl. His parents are crazy, right? Yeah, all of that was sus. Okay, so on September 1st, Brian Laundrie returned to the home of his parents, driving her van. At this point in time, there was no contact between Joseph and Nicole on the one hand and Christopher and Roberta on the other. From September 10th, and it says check with client. I'm not sure what that means. But from September 10th until September 19th, when Gabby was found at the Spread Creek dispersed camping area in Wyoming, plaintiffs were extremely distraught and were attempting to locate Gabby. While Gabby's family was suffering, the Laundrie family went on vacation to Fort DeSoto Park on September 6th to 7th of 2021. They went on vacation knowing that Brian Laundrie had murdered Gabby Petito. It is believed that they knew where her body was located and further knew that Gabby Petito's parents were attempting to locate her. In an effort to avoid any contact with Nicole on or about September 10th, Roberta Laundrie blocked Nicole Schmidt on her cell phone such that neither phone calls nor texts could be delivered, and she blocked her on Facebook. That is freaking heartbreaking and cold. That's cold. Like, you know that you're hiding a lot if you sit there and go to those links to block the mother of this child that you know that your son unalived. That is so freaking sickening. On September 13th, the date Brian Laundrie left his home, according to a televised interview with Stephen Bertolino on or about October 23rd, Brian Laundrie was grieving. Why was he grieving when he left? If at that time they didn't know what happened to him, but he was grieving because they knew since August 29th. Now we know that they've known since August 29th. According to the Cambridge English Dictionary, grieving is defined as feeling sad because someone had passed away. On September 14th, 2021, with full knowledge that Gabrielle Petito had been murdered by Brian Laundrie, and it is believed that they knew the whereabouts of her body, Stephen Bertolino, on behalf of Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie, issued the following statement. And this statement is what the entire civil lawsuit is based upon, is because this statement that they made on September 14th, this is understandably an extremely difficult time for both the Petito family and the Laundrie family. It is our understanding that a search has been organized for Miss Petito in or near Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. On behalf of the Laundrie family, it is our hope that the search for Miss Petito is successful and that Miss Petito is reunited with her family. On the advice of counsel, the Laundrie family is remaining in the background at this juncture and will have no further comment. So you're saying that on the 24th, this lawyer released a statement saying that they hope, we hope you find your daughter and we hope that she's reunited. But they knew she was gone and they still released a statement like that. Like, it just breaks my heart all over again. So let me see. I don't think anything else is new in here. Let's see. Oh yeah, and this is the letter that the parents had wrote that they basically ignored. They knew of the mental suffering and anguish of Joseph and Nicole in not knowing the well-being or location of their daughter, and further knew that such mental suffering and anguish increased each day that she was missing. It's so sad. Okay, I'm going to go on to share this. And I know how News Nation is, so I'll just try to.
Laundrie was named as a person of interest soon after. It's a lawsuit making some really explosive allegations about who knew what and when. As you may recall, 22-year-old Gabby Petito vanished during a cross-country trip with her fiancé Brian Laundrie in 2021. Her remains found September 19th in Wyoming. The coroner said she had died 3 to 4 weeks before they were discovered. Well, Laundrie was named as a person of interest soon after. Then he disappeared himself and was later found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. He was 23 years old.
Yeah, so, we all remember Brian Ninton on this case. He was on it from the beginning, from day one. I think his parents are very rotten. Yeah, the parents are the ones who enabled him to do everything. They guided him every step of the way, sadly. Hold on one second. All right, I'm going to go ahead and press play on the video.
In his journal, he admitted to killing Petito. Well, now a new lawsuit alleges Laundrie's parents knew much more about what their son was up to than they had previously let on. What does all this mean? Again, there are some bombshell new accusations that came out just over the last couple of days associated with this lawsuit. Joining us now to lay it all out is Patrick Riley. He is the attorney for the Petito family. Pat, we appreciate.
So I wanted to play some of this video because it actually shows their lawyer, Pat Riley. And, I like to be able to put out, factual information besides just what like articles say and such. You can actually hear it from his mouth because he'll mention like when the depositions were taken and all of that stuff.
Appreciate you being here. I thought I knew the ins and outs of this case, but my jaw dropped when this new information came out, really over the weekend, involving what you allege the Laundries knew and when they knew it. Basically saying that about 2 weeks before Gabby Petito was reported missing, that Brian Laundrie had made a phone call to his parents saying that Gabby was, quote, gone and that he needed a lawyer. How were you able to discover this, Pat?
So just to go over the like the timeline, like I had went over earlier, but basically it's good to actually have a date. But it makes it even more sadder, because like now we know it was way back in August. I still wonder what his trip home was about. Whenever he flew home, I don't have my timeline in front of me for that, but that whole trip where he went home and had to clear out a locker, quote unquote, that we heard rumors about. I wonder if more is going to come out about that during the trial because that, like, he left her alone for a week. And it makes you wonder, did he take the keys with him to the van? Did he leave her without her vehicle? Like, did he take all forms of her, money? Like, we really don't know. And this is just me making assumptions. This is me speculating because I know what kind of things that these narcissist type people do. So I don't know. It just makes me, I have a lot of questions. Prison? What about prison? I wish they would go to prison. Oh, Nicole, thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate it.
Well, good evening, Brian. Thank you for the invitation this evening. The deposition of Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie was taken back in October, as well as attorney Stephen Bertolino. And during that deposition, for the first time, Christopher Laundrie disclosed.
So he did just say that the deposition was in October, right? I just want to point out, I can't do super chats and I can't do all that stuff because I'm not monetized and YouTube is stupid and dumb and won't monetize me. So it's whatever. So Nicole, I really do appreciate it. It really will help the channel. It will help me keep my StreamYard and all those things. So I'm so thankful. Thank you for that. But yeah, so I think he said the depositions were in October.
And during that deposition, for the first time, the deposition of Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie was taken back in October, as well as attorney Stephen Bertolino. And during that deposition, for the first time, Christopher Laundrie disclosed that on August 29th of 2021, he received what he called a frantic telephone call from Brian, in which Brian disclosed to him that Gabby was gone and that he needed a lawyer. So that just confirmed what we had suspected going back almost 2 years.
So I'm thinking.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is it's wild that all of these things are coming out now that we're finding out. And that we were pretty, like I said, I was following this case live, and to have a lot of things come out that we were pretty dead on about or pretty close to with dates and such, it's wild. But you also have parents that are fighting, people that are fighting for justice. And, a lot of us here have followed the Kylie case. That's how we met. And I just wish, we do have people fighting for her, don't get me wrong, as far as like people like us that are still looking and digging for answers. But when you have a family that are pushing law enforcement and that you're looking into every little detail with the people who were in charge of the investigation and all that, like these parents are, you're going to get more answers. And I can only hope and pray that in the next 2 years, we find out things about Kylie's case like we are about Gabby's case. Half your chats aren't going through. I see you. I see one of them that shows that you retracted it, but every other one before that, I saw. Well, it's been a minute since you had. Maybe refresh and come back. I saw yesterday, I was in someone's live and people were saying something about the chat, and they were saying for you to refresh and come back in because YouTube has been glitching, which doesn't surprise me because you think YouTube objects to your British snark. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube is just tripping. Maybe try to refresh or just like maybe close YouTube and come back in. Hopefully that works.
Back to that time, Pat, and there is this search happening all over the country for Gabby Petito, an enormous amount of police resources all over the place. Everybody's looking for her. And according to this new information that you're presenting, the Laundries knew that she was gone. And I know this is now a civil trial, but I think a lot of people are watching this wondering, like, how is this not criminal if they didn't come forward with that information? I mean, were they allowed to withhold that?
Well, I'm not a criminal.
I absolutely love that Brian Ensign always asks the right questions. Like, that was a really good question. And I'm going to let it play here in just a minute, but it's News Nation. So we're going to pause and commentate so we don't get all that crazy YouTube stuff going on. But how could a mother sit there and lie to Gabby's parents? She was already helping her big baby son. What difference would it make to just have told the parents, right, to tell where she is? Like, I mean, okay, so when, like I said, I have an only son. And when I put myself in these parents' shoes, I know that the person I am, I would be shocked, devastated, wondering what the hell happened. Where did this come from? Because this is not the child I know. You know what I'm saying? But I could not see my phone ringing coming from her parents and ignoring that. I could not do that. So I don't understand how, I mean, and they raised him. So that just said, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He gets his ways from somewhere. And I'm not saying it's always the parents' fault. I'm not. But when you have someone who has done something like this to Gabby, and then you see the parents acting the way they are, yeah, huge red flags.
I'm a lawyer, but I know that Attorney Bertolino has certainly taken the position that they had the right to remain silent. They don't have an obligation to disclose. So I don't know whether or not there are any possible criminal charges that could be brought against them at this point. But certainly in terms of the civil litigation, this is very big information for us.
And I do get that. Like, it is big information. But like Brian Ensign is saying, there's just so many of us that just don't understand how this can't turn criminal. Now, I did see a comment on Jennifer Coffindaffer's post, and she was answering something, and she did make a comment about something could come out at court that could turn criminal, things like that. Yeah, I don't know. I did crochet, and I don't understand. I'm looking at Nightbot right now, and when I go to okay. No, when I look at my words, crochet, that are like blocked from being said, they're like horrible words, like words that it's just like you don't say. But prison or rotten is not one of them, so I'm not sure why that didn't go through. I don't know. Nightbot is tripping sometimes.
Yeah, and the Laundries, again, this all came out as part of the new filing, collected a $25,000 retainer to pay a law firm in Wyoming. Yet at the same time,
Wait. So they paid that. So that's why they were liquidating so much. They were selling some of their condos. They were like liquidating, trying to find money to get this guy a freaking lawyer as soon as August 29th.
They were going public through their attorney at that time, releasing statements. There was one statement that said, in part, on behalf of the Laundrie family, it is our hope that the search for Miss Petito is successful and that Miss Petito is reunited with her family. That was September 14th. August 29th is when you're alleging that he was told she was gone, that they needed a lawyer. So are the statements really a big part of the case here? I mean, were they intentionally trying to mislead people, do you think?
Well, the statement certainly is the focal point of this particular case. It's really the only cause of action we could bring against Christopher and Roberta Laundrie. And the import of—
So that's, that says a whole lot about like the laws in the system, because they're saying that this statement is one of the only things that they could bring against the Laundries. But it's frustrating to me that if you're finding out that they knew as soon as August 29th, why are they not being held accountable for aiding and abetting him? Like, I get you have a right to remain silent, but you knew about it and you kept him there at your home. You helped him get away, It makes no sense. They could have said it was accidental with all that cash, yet they let their son go into the reserve, right? And then not go after him. Cold-hearted is right. Really cold-hearted.
Of the statements is it supports our allegation that at the time that they made the statement, hoping that Gabby would be reunited with her family, which to most people, I believe would mean that she's going to be alive and it's going to be a happy reunion. At the time they made that particular statement, they knew that she was deceased, and they had known that for about 2 weeks and kept quiet for that 2-week period, despite the pleas from the family to help find her. And they chose to speak up and make that particular statement with knowledge that she was already deceased.
Are you
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing that post now. It is on Twitter. Oh, what did I do? Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so it is on Twitter. I have these bookmarked. So like I said, they are active. The Petitos and the Schmidts are pretty active on Twitter, on X, Twitter. Sorry. So proud of our Gabby, leaving a legacy that will save lives and change the way we respond to abuse. And this is about the Gabby Act. And I'll share this tab instead. Oh, and if anyone is interested in reading the other court document for the Petitos depositions, I'll drop that in chat. And this will play in 14 seconds. So this is going to be about the Gabby Petito Act that was filed in the Florida Senate. Gabby Petito disappeared while on a cross-country trip with her boyfriend. He returned without her, and she was ultimately found in Wyoming.
Her story captivated the nation. Gabby Petito disappeared while on a cross-country trip with her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. He returned home to Northport without her, and she was ultimately found dead in Wyoming. At one point, they were pulled over in Moab, Utah, and a domestic violence investigation began, but they were allowed to continue on with their trip. And that is why a new bill was filed here in Florida. Fox 13's Brianna Arredondo was in our newsroom tonight to explain what's in this new bill. Brianna.
So, Haley, the goal here is to spot potentially deadly situations before they happen by having an officer ask the victim certain questions. And
I just want to say, I think that it is an amazing idea for this act. And like I said, I hope that it can go nationwide, because I mean, I think law enforcement should automatically, in domestic situations, have some kind of trained staff with them that can be on the scene with them, that can help ask the right questions. And that's what she's going to talk about here. She doesn't say what they are, but that's basically what the act is. And it's to try to get a good feel and a good vibe for what's really going on in these situations. Because a lot of times the victim, which we all know here was Gabby Petito, will take up for the abusive partner, so I think this act is amazing. And like I said, I really hope it goes worldwide.
And make that standard across the state. And tonight, survivor advocates and Gabby Petito's dad tell us that change would make a big difference in saving lives. The nation will never forget these images. And Gabby Petito's family wants to make sure what happened to her in 2021 doesn't happen to anyone else.
That's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to make it proud.
Gabby's father, Joseph Petito, worked with Florida Senator Lauren Book to come up with the Gabby Petito Act, new legislation filed Wednesday. Senate Bill 610 proposes a new statewide mandate for all law enforcement to do what's called a lethality assessment when investigating domestic violence incidents.
Again, we know in different places throughout the country where lethality assessments are used, even here in our great state where they're used in pockets. We know that it reduces the incidence of a lethal situation.
The Spring of Tampa Bay says it can establish a history of abuse beyond an initial call.
And so law enforcement asked the survivor, separated from the abuser.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, they are going to be trained to be on the scene. You separate them, which Gabby and Brian were separated, but these officers did not have training or notice the signs of like a toxic, abusive situation. So I'm so glad that they're getting this act passed.
A series of questions that are designed to pinpoint the risk that victim might become, might eventually be murdered by their partner.
The Springs' Mindy Murphy says Moab, Utah police missed those clues when they talked with Gabby in this body camera video.
They missed them by a long shot. Nicole, I wanted to show you that I saw this question. How did the parents know exactly where to look for their son? Walked right up to they walked up to his bag that they had. But yeah, I don't know if anybody has it, but in the final report that came out, the anthropology report that goes over the crime scene as well, there were some bones that were found near like where the dry bag was. So yeah, they definitely knew his little spot where he was, which is just very sketchy to me.
From August 2021, before she was killed.
And within the first 3 minutes, Gabby talks about how Brian and she actually puts her hands up like this, how he put his hands around her face. That would have been a perfect opportunity for law enforcement to stop and say, hey, has he ever done that before?
Gabby's father hopes it will connect with everyone, sharing what he thinks Gabby would say to him today.
She'd probably get mad at me for, letting it be named after her. But to be honest with you, I hope, when I leave this place and I get to see her again, I can ask her, did I make you proud? And I've said it before, and hopefully she'll say yes.
And Gabby's dad says that this bill was over a year in the making, and he says it was important to the family that it be standalone legislation. He says domestic violence is a people issue, not a political issue, and he hopes to see something similar on the national level. In the newsroom.
Yeah, so that would be amazing if we could get it on a national level. I found the bag, which was in Roberta's backpack, right? Oh my gosh, we could talk forever about all of this stuff with Gabby. Yeah, I have so many questions. If I was on my my MacBook, I would bring up the anthropology report. I think I was telling you, Leopard Print, I went through that thing. There are so many bones that were found. Like, First, they announced that it was just a partial human skull remains, and then all of a sudden you have so many, so many. Perhaps one day I'll go over it. Yes, her cup that was found and that was seen in her van. Yep. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up and multitask here, but yeah. Definitely just wanted to bring that update. And lately it seems like every few weeks to a month or whatever that we are getting some kind of updates from, with the Gabby case. Like things are moving. And I wanted to tell y'all earlier, I was reading in that same article with the court documents. And hold on, let me just confirm before I read it. I read it somewhere that they had changed the court date multiple times. It was supposed to be this past summer, and then it was pushed back because of other motions being filed. The court date is set as of now. I want to say for May. Hold on, I'm trying to find it real quick so I don't give out any false information. But where did I see it? I looked at so many articles. It's either March or May of 2024 as of now. So we know that could change because we've had like Bertolino come forward trying to be basically dismissed from this lawsuit. No, homie, you're going down too. I wish I could find that tweet that Jennifer Coffindaffer was commenting about because there was a lot of good information in that. But yeah, the trial is supposed to be set for next year as of right now. Hopefully that stays, the same. Let me see if I can find Jennifer's post. Gosh, she tweets a lot, so. But, no, I can't find it right now, and I don't want to keep you guys waiting, but yeah. I think that cup was planted. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it definitely was strange given the people who were involved. If you know what I mean. I mean, for anything to be left behind, basically, yeah, that was very sus, very weird. Like, how did they miss that? But but yes, a lot of stuff was sus in the Gabby Petito case. That is why I'm going to continue fighting for justice for her. Not fighting for justice, but following her case because her family is definitely fighting. So I will definitely keep following all of the updates I can with Gabby. That, her story, I'll never forget. Same with Kylie, same with Oakley, same with Summer Wells, Harmony and Montgomery, Monkey, so many, just so many and too many. Is he an only child? Oh, yeah. No, he's not. He did have an older sister. Her name is Cassie Laundrie. She has children of her own. And she did make a statement or two during the whole thing unfolding. They said they searched that area too. Lots looking for Brian. I mean, the fact that they searched it for so long with dogs that are trained to smell underwater, how did they miss that? It's kind of like, how did they miss Kylie's car? Like, these things just, they don't make sense. Same place, though, that said they were watching him when he got away. Right. They weren't watching him, in my opinion. You're welcome, zombie girl. Yes, the sister definitely went on the camping trip. Yep, that's why I think they all knew. They either talked about it when they went to DeSoto, and I wonder if, like, I would love to be a fly there, knowing what that conversation was like. I think there was an interview with his sister, and they asked her why. She was saying, like, when they had to talk with Brian, or when they were talking to Brian at DeSoto, they didn't want the kids around. It was stuff they didn't want the kids to hear. So it just makes you wonder how that conversation went. Like, what did he tell his parents? What did he really tell them? Did he tell them what was in his little notebook, his little confession? Or did he tell them the truth? You know? Like, I still have so many questions. The sister's kids and husband did not attend. Oh, see, at that time, I was told that they did, but you could be right. I mean, I don't know. I don't have proof of either or, but the area they found him had been flooded for weeks. Yeah, and they did have some people that did some charting with the water levels and such, and a lot of people were saying that there's them dogs that were trained for underwater cadaver dogs. They should be able to identify. They should have been able to identify something. And the fact that they didn't for so long, like not even a trail, nothing, and yet they come back with a whole dry bag. I mean, a freaking box, a notebook, all kinds of things. You would think that something would have been found, but that's just my opinion. I always wonder if the sister knew. Me too. Me too. The guy who rented them the camping spot said it was just the four of them. I don't have that information, Nicole. I deep dove Gabby's case and I didn't come across that, but feel free to email me because I find that interesting. And if I could see that somewhere, I would love to read that because I didn't know that. Oh, so was I. I was on Twitter and Nerdy with Nerdy Addict and the hand in the garden. That's how I found Nerdy because there was no hand in the garden. But I was, yeah. Even now, whenever WFLA does updates, the freaking music, it reminds me of Gabby. It all reminds me of Gabby. Yeah, the garden hand leopard print. So Nerdy Addict on Twitter is the one who filmed that with his drone. And, you know, everybody thought there was a hand in the garden. I was one of them for like 10 minutes, and then I started reading comments, and I'm like, yeah, I'm stupid. There's no hand in this freaking garden. What the hell? It's a plant. But yeah. JB forever, right? Where they went camping at, they paid for a spot. Oh yeah, I remember. And they changed the date. She changed the date for it too. She originally had it booked for another date, and then she switched it up. So yeah, Leopard, that's when everybody went looking for who is the guy with the drone that did this. And shout out to Nerdy, because when he can be boots on the ground, he definitely is. And he helps in these cases in a tremendous way. So, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, guys. I'm gonna take a little break. I know we have lives today, so I'm gonna get off of here and take a little breather. Yes, we definitely all love JB, and rest in peace, Gabby, and justice for Gabby. So again, I appreciate all of you being here. I love each and every one of you. Thank you to my mods. You all are amazing. And yeah, together we can. We'll keep following these cases and we'll keep talking about her. We'll be a voice for the voiceless. Yes, Leopard. I wore my Let It Be shirt yesterday that I made. When I first got my Cricut, Let It Be was the first shirt that I made. So yeah. You're welcome. Thank y'all for being here. Yeah, go ahead and drop y'all's links again just in case. And a Leopard, I'm excited for your channel. Oh my goodness, I have so many pop-ups right now. Okay, now they're going away. Let me drop a couple of links. I think I have this one. Don't get too excited. Well, we are. It's baby steps, but it's okay. Thank you, Mom First. Thank you for being here. Let me drop. I think I put it under Lee. This is Micah's. Yep. Okay. And I don't have everyone's, but Leopard did hers earlier. Did you do it again, Leopard? Okay. All right, guys. Y'all have a great rest of y'all evening, and I love each and every one of y'all, and I will see y'all in the YouTube streets. Good night. Stay blessed.